you've said he's leaned on it.
But do they just go for something different in jungle with LeBlanc anyway? That'll be my question, Lyric, is Top Esports looking towards bot for the time being. JackeyLove on the Zeri. We get the Lulu instead. They set up their 2v2. And JDG now might be the thought around a jungler as the flex around for the Ezreal. I think that's a bit of a call out to Ruler from Knight, especially when he's got a world skin on it. As there's the Tristana just locked in. 280 carries now on JDG.
Yeah, going to give them a lot of pushing power if they're able to get in front of structures, right? The siege is going to be insane. Also, will give him a lot of lane pressure in mid lane just with the fact, you know, that passive coming out from your E. If you can try and keep Rookie contained in the lane. And also, right, when you're playing Tristana, you do have all-in kill pressure if the enemy mid laner does make a misstep. So I like the pick coming out for Knight. And we're going to see now if they can round it out with some solid front line to give Peel to the double marksman composition.
Makes sense, wouldn't it? Gwen starts us off, though, on the other side. Again, we're talking about 369. Ornn K'Sante, Lyric. That's what we've been seeing out of him. Maybe a topside ban as well to stop some of the engage.
I guess that's the problem, though, is like, can you really ban him out? Because K'Sante, Ornn, Sion, Malphite, Gragas,
True.
he is a solid amount of options to still be able to play around. JDG might have to worry about their lack of magic damage, you know, assuming that we don't see Kanavi once again pull out something like an Elise or something weird. Because top esports still very much have the same option, right? Get Wayward on something that is just nigh unkillable, stack armor, and then also having something like a Lulu to enable that could be huge. It would be even more unlucky than if we ended up with like a mountain soul on the Rift.
True. K'Sante ban in the end anyway. That's towards top esports. Something that both these top laners play heavily, as I could say that about any league, and honestly it'd be true, but more so towards Wayward and 369. Now for top esports, does it go towards that final jungle ban? Maokai's already taken off the board for red side fourth, Lyric. What do you favor, considering that it feels like TES might just be banning away another jungle? There we go, melee jungle in
I was going to say, I feel like you need utility. So I was going to say, you're either going utility with, which is this Poppy, Sejuani. Those are kind of the two big ones. Even Wukong still maybe. Or they're going to try and snowball. They're going to do a JDG and they're going to bring out an Elise. So nice to see that they kind of opted out of that. They did go with a champion that fits more of the composition. You know, Poppy just brings so much peel to enable these 280 carries to stay at arm's length and try to play fights the way they want. But now it's a TS going to answer back with the Renekton. Back in the meta, a champion that Wayward really favors. Yeah. Now I'm just more interested about what they're going to be able to bring out in the jungle role, because they're setting up to be incredibly aggressive. We had this the other day.
We literally had this today, Lyric. We literally had this in the first series as well. Like, yeah, Meteor from LGD played it. And you're telling me the other day. So Sion jungle is creeping its way in. Whether it's locked in or not, we're just going to keep it in the back of our mind, as this would suit Tien and his playstyle, Lyric. We get a carry jungler out of him.
It goes with the so kind of back to the thought process we were talking about earlier of like when you have something like LeBlanc and Renekton in topside, pairing it with a champion that really does well working with burst, right? Setting up for those resets even easier. Like this fits their comp better. The Quinn would have made no sense, but I would have loved it if 369 came in and said, hey, Wayward, you know, you were under me, and just comes in and gives him a lesson. I guess he still could on the Ornn. He'd go the shy route by the Doran's Blade.
Remember when 369 debuted and he, you know, got a message from the shy on the client after adding him, and he was so humbled and it was so cute. And, you know, he looked up to the shy. And now he's the best top laner in the league. And now he can do that to any top laner. But look, at the very least, it's Ornn. As you said, the direction stays the same, Lyric. And we have a lot of team fight presence now from JDG. Wrap me up the comp, starting with JDG, because I'm seeing a lot of division of skirmishing and front to backs.
Yeah, it's gonna be about that front to back, kiting them out, having the peel there, especially from the Poppy with that ultimate, to be able to keep them at arm's length, be able to isolate targets. And you know, in a war of attrition, when it comes to hitting frontline, you're gonna win by having that double 80 carry. It's just the Ornn items coming out later on, to where for top esports, it's about pick potential. LeBlanc, Viego, Renekton, solid amount of CC, a ton of burst, and getting the action going before JDG would want to take a fight.
Well, we know top esports with the lead, pretty hard to beat. Second in the lead after they take a gold lead up towards that 15-minute mark. But folks, We've got so much time to talk about how these teams operate as we go into Summoner's Rift. In their home arena, JDG look to maintain and hold on to the first position, while Top Esports look to upset and do the same. As we enter Summoner's Rift, our battle for first commences here in week 4, past the halfway point in our 7-week split. TES versus JDG, our classic, an absolute banger. Top side, meanwhile, though, here comes Call the Forge God, though. Wait, 369, that's so much damage. No way is he gonna solo kill the mighty Croc. 369.
And we got to remember, right, 369 is the gold standard top laner. Wayward having big shoes to fill in replacing 369, and 369 putting him in his place in this first game.
On an on.
On an on.
Yeah, that's why 369, you know, we don't have much to compare him. I hate making statements like this, but he feels like one of the best top laners in the world right now, and at least in the LPL he is. We're going to talk about bot a little bit more. Good trades coming through, missing. Not going to get a follow-up from Ruler. But still, this early game lyric from JDG might not be a gold lead, but things are looking pretty settled right now, along with that solo kill on top side.
Yeah, we're going to need a replay of it. You know, Ultimate had just come up, like, had just hit level 6 seconds prior, but seen the opportunity with Wayward going in aggressively because he knows he can get the knock-up. But there it is, first proc of the brittle damage coming through. Then Bam gets another big chunk after connecting with the Ram, and he's very easily able to run him down. So Wayward with that slice of dice in to get off the queue, kind of sacrificing his life to 369. But 369, great recognition of the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, look, he was losing the lane as well as good root here in the bottom side. Meanwhile, Clem's not going to work. Jackie Love flashes away. Meanwhile, Knight mid hops in, hops out. Kanavi gets the assisted gank, and JDG 3 lanes are crushing TES.
And if there was ever a time that this matchup looked like it would be close to equal on paper as we tried to build it up, it was coming into today. But JDG, at least in this first game, really just running rampant all over the map. Top Esports will pick up the Rift Herald in response, which is what we'll see right before this replay. But yeah, pulling a dive off onto a LeBlanc. I guess they do just see the W come out, so is forced to flash in the end. But then just so much CC, able to get in the rocket jump as well, and then finishing that off. Great job from JDG to... You're forcing a mid lane dive on a LeBlanc. Not something many teams would try to pull off, and then execute it so well and get it done.
Timing of the steadfast presence huge as Rookie can't get out with the distortion. Another reason why this Poppy pick's going to see value this game, Lyric. But speaking of value, Knight picks up the kill. Now Knight and 369 both with gold in their pocket too. And that's elevating the gold lead near to 1,000 up for JDG. We talked about their early game as well. They're just like Top Esports. They find a lead in the first 15 minutes, and they run home with it more often than not. And the best in the league to do so. So it feels like Lyric, the team that finds an early game gold lead is a team that we should be looking towards.
Oh, definitely. And right, this was JDG's bread and butter for a large part of their run in spring. Honestly, even like going back last year before the roster changes, before they became known as like the team that could come back from any deficit, for most of the split, their average gold lead at 15 minutes was like plus 4,000, which is ridiculous. So this is definitely a position they know how to maneuver quite well. And with no summoners on Jackie Love, I wouldn't be surprised to see us soon, again, lead back down to bot lane, but more importantly, get a set up a dragon at some point. Even if it opts into Top Esports coming and fighting you, you should feel confident about winning a skirmish at this point in time.
Yeah, set up till the huge static shiv there alongside Knight, so also a bit of an advantage as Tien's trying for a gank. This might be hard though. Ruler has ulti and flash, missing with his ulti. Flash W, like Tien's going to try a lot, but it might just be for the Herald as he tries to get the stun up. Does so. Missing and Ruler just back away, and Herald's just going to be held on for as, again onto Rookie.
Though, I believe. He should have walked by that ward from what I saw on the minimap, but I guess
no
not.
Disrespect, distortion is interrupted. Charge on top of Rookie. Knight needs one more. He ulted him to death. That, again, is Rookie going down to the 2v1 of JDG.
Yeah, I guess Rookie just... Kanavi somehow skirting his way past the vision that TES did manage to get down. And Rookie really feeling the pressure. We were so excited for the 1v1. Rookie versus Knight, you know, Two legends, two great laners. But it's been all about Kanavi setting Knight up and really enabling him to succeed even more than he has. Rookie will finally pick up the static shift to match the one the Knight has already had his hands on. So at least some of the pushing presence that Knight has had is going to be mitigated going forward.
At least maybe get him onto the map a little bit more, because right now, Top Esports, you know, lacking options here in the laning phase. At least Lyric, they will be able to get the push bot and set themselves up for the move on drag. Rookie's TP helps with that as well. So having said that, Top Esports gets something in this early game finally.
I mean, they've gotten both neutral objectives so far, right? Both Herald
Also
and Dragon,
true.
but it's because JDG have been opting into plays like this. They could just use mid prior to set for Dragon, but no. They want to keep abusing Rookie and finding these in the mid lane. Goes in, not able to connect with the stun, but with that prevents the distortion from coming through, and then Rookie goes back in, gets a bit closer. It kind of allows for Knight to be able to finish that one off with the ulti.
And again, that second kill going over tonight. This is looking pretty good for JDG. And we came into today talking about the battle for first, but JDG, you know, still hitting that stride. We also mentioned as, come on, Rookie's really been bullied enough. Hex flash over. Kanavi not going to get in range, though. As Rookie's starting to give a little bit more respect here, Lyric. You don't blame him, considering how much he's seen Kanavi's face.
And I mean, he's kept up in farm, right? He's been doing like a fine job in terms of just surviving the 1v1. But Tristana, especially when she starts to get ahead, is just such a menace. Being able to have that confidence, just constantly walk up, get off those explosive charges, and maybe not even be afraid to W if you can get all of them off and get that reset. Ooh.
X-Flash not taken. Kanavi goes backwards instead. Mark might have been in some real trouble there, but JDG didn't want to overextend. As now Kanavi just spotted out. Tien also on this bottom side as well, as Knight gets shoved and looks to roam. It's because Top Esports put the Herald there, and oh, Shelly! She's going to have to run it again.
And now a wave's going to be here, right? So it's not like she's just going to walk up the turn and get that charge off. It gives JDG time to finish this one off and not allow that gold to go over.
Quickness comes through. JackieLove in front, has to flash over the wall. Wild Growth already used. JackieLove now without any summoners. Mark without the ulti. Herald without a push because of the ulti from Kanavi. Big brain. And JDG just won't let Top Esports get anything.
No, we do see Rookie pushing in the mid lane now, so we'll get some plates and at least return a bit of gold for himself. But yeah, Top Esports not finding the play they wanted. Nice counter by Kanavi at the end of the day, using that ult to buy them more time, and then even find the angle was missing to set it up to get JackieLove to have to burn both of his summoners.
As you said, Rookie to get a plate. That's at least
Oh, look at the mini-map though.
What's happening, Lyric? I'm going to look towards bot side for timing. Moving down.
Nothing's happening in this bot lane. I believe in Wayward though.
Okay, you are right though. Chain's going to come through, but it is a Tristana.
I don't believe in Wayward.
Okay, that's a problem. Look, it is a Tristana with a lot available, so very doubtful as to what you can achieve, but Wayward just applying pressure, I guess, where he can. As we're at 14 minutes now. Plates are down. So whatever Top Esports got out of lane can't be enhanced any further, because that was Wayward getting some top. It was Rookie getting some mid. I think at some point, JackieLove got close to one. Not sure if you have actually got any. But what happens now? Now that plating's down, Lyric, is it just all for this Herald? One for all, or what?
Yeah, I think as JDG, you're going to feel good about fighting now with the lead that you've had. This is kind of when Top East, some of their champions are peaking quite well, right? The Renekton and the LeBlanc. I guess with Static Shift, not going to be as bursty as you typically would be, like once you pick up something like a Ludens, but it looks like Top Esports still confident to fight this.
369's coming in, called the Forge God could be huge. A Steadfast doesn't work. It's Kanavi's ult on the backside. That doesn't work out, but he still stills the Dragon, excuse me, on the Herald as he has to flash away, but still in the pit. 369. The Forge God aimed at the jungle. Tien not given a reset. He's out first as JackieLove with the Wild Growth, but it's an early game. Zeri, Knight's getting resets. Kanavi's lining them up. The pins have been fall down as Wayward does the Renekton mojo. But even that's not enough as TES are wiped away and JDG continue to play.
And you just cannot give JDG a foothold into the game. They are so confident taking these fights and just snowballing their lead. I was scared for a little bit that JDG weren't going to pick up the Herald because I saw, I believe it was both Kanavi and Missing just casually walk by it. Ruler did eventually get that one in his own pocket. And now, I mean, JDG are huge, right? We'd about just over a 1K gold lead before, and now making our way over 3,000. Still have the Herald to drop. Still have just turrets that are, as we can see now, right? These are paper thin. These are about to fall down. A huge surplus of gold is about to make its way into JDG's pocket over the next, like, 2 minutes.
Almost 4,000 already, as you said. Replay 16 minutes into the game, and this happened as it was all over the Herald lyric, and Tien just tried to finish.
Yeah, Kanavi not able to connect with his ulti, but it is Kanavi who secures the Herald with the smite coming through. And then things get a little bit weird, right? Because top esports get a little bit split up. The big difference being called the Forge God huge, and then having the mobility tools, like the rocket jump, to be able to split them up while missing is kind of dealing with the Wayward and Mark, rookie forced to run away. Great pincer movement coming out from JDG to make that work.
Not losing a single member. 6-0 here in this first game. As I said, 16 minutes in. And now Dragons come up a second time. A little bit slower in the stacking department, but for JDG, this time they have priority here, Lyric. Walking into River, using Knight to just shove out mid, which happens in an instant with Static Shiv. And with Herald coming through from JDG as well, I mean, top esports are in a tight spot.
Yeah, pressure's on them. Got to keep your eyes on 369. Call the Forge God is up.
And Wayward seen as well. There we go. Hammer him all the way home. Tien sent packing as Wayward wanted a flank, but now they're going to be jumping on top of him. Knight trying, but he buster shots him away. Jumps out. That's a turret in his path. It's called the Forge God. Will lay it down. 369 doesn't normally miss those, but will still give him a pass. Wayward dies in the end, and Dragon goes to JDG.
It even looks like, yeah, turret picked up in mid by the Herald too. So JDG have been eating so much. They're just going to keep going with this push.
Okay, well, top esports maybe just shouldn't be here at all. Missing still trying to get on top of Tien, but he kites it out as Wild Growth was used on him. Knight's getting the turret in the meanwhile. He's got himself a little bit of demolish as that procs, and he now opens up the map even further, while the rest of JDG were dealing with top esports. And Lyric in a turret went down towards mid. I mean, it is just moment after moment that JDG can boast about here in this first game as they continue taking control.
And we talked about how, like, maybe if top esports had, like, double stacked, like, tank top plus jungle, that maybe you can be like, okay, later on it's going to be so annoying having to worry about damage mitigation coming out if they just do stack armor. But that's not really the case. You really don't need to mind anything as JDG in terms of your scaling. It's going to be phenomenal going throughout this game. And it should just be impossible for TS to find any angles. The Poppy just counteracts the LeBlanc, the Viego, the Renekton so well. And you should never find access to this backline. Hell, they even both have self-peel, right? True. Both Tristan and Xayah ulti is going to be able to peel for themselves. The Quakeness in there, you have so much to make sure that Ruler and Knight can't be under any threat. And then they have so many tools to follow up on engages.
We might even see it in action here. Ruler still feeling confident enough to stick around as Red Buff still goes to top esports, but it's a fight to get their own buffs at this point. Objective bounties are up because of how far they are behind. I mean, it's just telling the story as TES look for Knight, but you said it, there's Peel there. Knight also, by the way, if he gets a bit of space, Navori Quickblades, he is going to massacre anyone. As Kanavi is still trying for a pick. Look at Tien, he's like, oh God, I'm here by myself, somebody help me. Kanavi's getting the rest of the team while they just jump on top of Tien. He has the Heartbreaker about an inch forward. The feathers flying back doesn't do much as Wayward now ulties. They want to turn this into a net positive as Kanavi gets him out and sends him a little bit further backwards. JDG are fine for the time being, but top esports still trying to edge for that angle.
Yeah, and coming off of that, so Flash burned by Tien, but Flash also burned by Ruler, which feels like it could be the crucial one. When we're talking about all the ways the Ruler has to peel, you know, those are all still there. But now, if Rookie or Wayward manage to sneak in, they find that flank, he will be vulnerable.
They're going to jump on Wayward. He's got no ulti. Missing is just hovering in the wings, but nothing yet. So, let's walk through how difficult it is for top esports. You already said, you know, jumping on the back line is really hard. What does a perfect fight really look like then? Like, is it just pure pick potential? Leveraging side lanes? Do you have enough damage to do that? I mean, I've got a lot of questions.
I think it's kind of rough. The silver lining is, like, you have two champions that feel somewhat comfortable being in sides, but 369's kind of unbothered by the Renekton. The problem is, Knight definitely can match and pressure Rookie. So you really can't use that in the same way. So I feel like it's going to be a lot about just getting their waves in order, kind of like you see Rookie do now. Back off, And then try and make some of these plays where you walk through your own jungle. If you can gain river control, set up some plays in the enemy jungle and try and pick someone off in transition.
Still, it's just such a small
But
window, though.
Yeah, it shouldn't be done. I mean, we're 5K behind against, again, 2 huge scaling marksmen.
True.
But it's really all they've got.
And the problem is they've also got Baron to leverage. Even though they're red side, and some would say, oh, it's disadvantage, it doesn't matter. You do Baron
They
so
do Baron
quickly.
so fast. They do it so fast. You can see the pings coming out now onto it.
Oh, there we
369 starting to make his way up, and they have no vision. No vision for the side of top esports. Really no one great to walk in and face check this either. Would have to be Wayward coming on through unless, you know, someone has like a scrying orb available, which it looks like they do have 2. Both Wayward and Rookie can use them.
Tien has a heartbreaker out, missing with the quickness, actually finds a mark onto Tien. No jungler would be an even easier Baron as Kanavi runs into 3 people unscathed. Here we go again, send them sky high. As Kanavi now runs towards the Baron. They fake started it before, but I guarantee you this time it's going to be real.
Heading over now very slowly, missing, just trying to let his presence be known of like, hey guys, I know that you know that we're doing this, but let's be real, if you come in, you are just going to all run it down. We're going to see what TS can do.
Not too much. There goes Baron, and now the turn top esports in a bad spot as Jackaloff gets over the wall. But this is his noble attempt as 5 members stand in his way. We talked about him being consistent, but he hasn't done much this game because top esports haven't been able to do much at all. Baron down. JDG now have another dragon as well. It's just clean stuff from them.
Like, they've just all been on the back foot, right? Like, losing bot, even if no, like, crazy 2v2s coming out, like, they're the ones being pressured at bot. Rookie being pressured in mid. Wayward getting solo killed by 369 in top side. Just all of their lanes not going in any way that really gives them something manageable to work with. And, right, here's what we talked about with the side lane. That Knight can win out in these 1v1s, so Rookie really doesn't have the same amount of pressure as you ideally would like with the static Shiv LeBlanc, but it's also one of the reasons why Tristana is so commonly being matched against it these days.
Yeah, I mean, look, even with the static Shiv, it has amazing wave clear too. No matter if you're AP or AD these days, just static Shiv stuff regardless. As Lyric, objectives to down, Baron is here. JDG, they don't have much standing gold outside of the inner turrets and side lanes. But something tells me that they're now going to make a big push towards these inhibitor turrets and try and close this one out in the next 5 minutes.
And they definitely got the power to do so. Looks like they want to get some vision around top side now. And probably play out through a 2-lane setup with where 369's headed. They're going to just ignore bot lane, keep someone around mid, and then bring in this wave top. But the fact that Knight has flash, still has that buster shot, and the rocket jump, he should be fine. But Tien's still looking.
There is a flank from
Wayward's
Wayward,
here.
though. Knight's just jumped into it. Unlucky timing as Knight is going to go down here for sure. Jackaloff picks up the kill. Call the Forge God, though. From 369 sets up the other as Wayward is sent packing with the Keeper's verdict. But Jackaloff by himself. Somehow, there's a kill onto Knight. Jackaloff gets out, but Kanavi's so quick. Oh, Kanavi's so quick. You hate to see it. Flash away. Throw your Iron Ambassador out. And Kanavi's just going to match his pace.
Like,
JDG start knocking it down.
JDG got 2 kills with one of their marksmen being dead, the other one not being there. Like, that was missing 369 and Kanavi really making that happen.
The defense is there. Wayward trying his heart out. Minion wave at least cleared, so top esports get a bit more time away from this Baron buff.
Yeah, so not going to be able to actually find the amount of pressure they want from that mishap. You said it, though. That was unlucky for Knight, but great planning from TS to bring in the Renekton on the flank. Just rocket jumping over the wall, see a giant Dominist Wayward waiting in the wings.
One and only kill so far. That pick on tonight. That one and only kill. I mean, again, it has just been domination, really. Top esports with a couple of objectives, but I've said it enough as Kanavi now finds Tien here in the mix. He might have the Heartbreaker out to get out. Depends on 369 though. Doesn't have Call the Forge God available, so Tien will survive another day. But JDG, I mean, this is turning into a dive. He takes no damage. Even running with the turret still. 369 opting to go back in to save the boys. Rookie's getting the turret in the meanwhile. That's nice, but JDG, I guess, not getting the full dive.
No, and it's hard, right? I mean, have a decent amount of mobility on the side of top esports to be able to dodge out from that slice and dice from way over Jackie Love being able to kind of skirt over walls, the speed coming out from Lulu. So it does make it a bit hard with how far back they're playing to allow these dives to happen. And Rookie can only get so much more. And hell, these are objective bounties, right? These are injections of gold that your team desperately wants.
Very worth. I just realized he's using his own LeBlanc skin. Very true and based as JDG now on the inhib turret. Wayward's going full in, but look, he's knocked around. Wayward experiencing a bouncy castle for the first time in his adult life as JDG take the turret down. They also get themselves a cheeky kill. Rookie may have found a turret or two, but the base is still broken. It's JDG still with the gold lead as Jackie Love has ulted for this one. Rookie's going to try, but not enough damage. Even Tien's angle's being spotted out by missing as it's the base clumped out, and it's still a perfect little debut to the series for JDG.
Tien would have died if he went for that, or at least, you know, at best, Buster shot away. At worst, he'd be dead. But I was wondering if he'd be bold enough to do it since Rookie was close enough to also get off his combo and, like, try and see if he could burst out Knight before any shenanigans can go down. It actually looks like Knight's the one who wants to burst someone out. Him and 369. I love that it's the old top esports boys still waiting in the jungle, hoping that someone walks in.
True. Like, he knows Knight. Get out of here. Jackie Love very
played with him for a few years. No, he's ready.
Very aware. As Lyric, speaking of being aware, 30 seconds till drag. It's still such a hard game. Top esports are looking for picks. I mean, Missing might actually be caught out here. Rooted up and dead. That's also a shutdown on a support.
Top esports take anything they can get. This should lead them into the dragon as well. Not going to be able to turn it into like a Baron, which maybe could have been more, let's say, game breaking for them and trying to get that gold lead closer to manageable. Because still about 7,000 for JDG. But ooh, forcing more.
They just keep getting stuff. Like, this game should be done and dusted. This game should be JDG's easily. But top esports find little inches, little moments. Remember that Jackie Love is with the Lulu. Yeah, this is coming fast from JDG, though.
Yeah, we're going to see how quickly they can do it, because Missing and 369 are still a fair bit away. It looks like no. Is there really no inkling that it's going on?
There's a ward on in the back. They know, Lyric, but look how fast it went down. They're just like, what can we do?
I guess you're right. Like, really, how do you even enter? It's not like you have an Ornn or a Scion or a... Yeah. Tough for TES. They've been finding what they could for the past few minutes, but with this Baron buff, I think this will probably just be it. Oh, Kanavi.
Trying to, at the very least. Jackie Love is one under threat as Rookie now affiliates himself with mid-wave. Wayward pops the ulti. JDG have now broken all the inhibitor turrets in one fell swoop. Now with the quickness, Missing in, making up for getting caught before. 369's ulti is a beaut. Ruler's one getting the kill credit here as Knight now jumps in too, and JDG have just come into this series clean as you'd like. A couple of pickoffs from top esports, but apart from that, it's JDG all the time. Game one in under 30 minutes, 16-2. Jing Dong ring the doorbell again, and they're ringing the doorbell to the mansion. It ain't the sweet Lyric. It's the bloody mansion.
It's the mansion, yeah, coming in to take everything